Hi guys, I'm Karis K. Wilson. Welcome back to my channel. If you're an ambitious undergraduate student, graduate student, or young professional, then you are in the right place. In today's video, I'll talk about what things you need to write down on your comparison list when you're looking at a community college versus a four-year institution. So tip number one, and the first thing that you want to consider is, what are your goals? So typically traditional four-year universities offer a more kind of holistic experience. And by holistic, I mean the kind of ability to get involved in extracurriculars and the traditional college experience that you typically see amongst college students at your typical four-year university. Also, kind of thinking about the networking and the opportunities to just succeed with regard to getting involved in these programs are great. And so you really want to think about that and put that on your list when you're kind of thinking about comparing the two, when you're writing a comparison list of the two. Also, I want to add that, it's kind of widely known that a community college is very different with regard to kind of extracurriculars and that traditional college experience. They're very different than a four-year university. And so that's something that you want to kind of think about, in that there are just fewer options. And again, you can kind of read that across different literature and talks and studies that have been done on this. But that is the first thing that you want to consider when you are comparing community college to a four-year program. The second thing that you want to think about when you're comparing the two is your stance on debt. So while I've talked at length about what my views are and what my stance is when it comes to college and debt, which is that it shouldn't be looked at in this kind of one sense of, if it's debt, it's bad, and we can't go, and that's it, no more conversation. I think if your stance on debt is that you don't have the money to attend a large academic four-year program or institution, then you may want to consider community college. That might be a better alternative for you. And so when you're doing your kind of comparison list and you're doing your comparison chart, money and cost may be up there on that list for you when comparing the two and trying to decide kind of what this comparison process is going to look like with regard to institutions. And so I will say, though, with community colleges, they are and have been it can be costly as well. And so again, you want to consider the value of what you're getting in addition to kind of what you're paying, and if there is kind of like this significant difference in cost if you choose to go one direction versus the other. But that is the second thing that you want to think about with your comparison list. So the third thing that you want to think about with regard to comparing a community college to a four-year program is the flexibility and rigor of the program. And so I think community colleges offer a lot of flexibility, whereas four-year institutions not so much with regard to the programs. They are getting better, especially with the pandemic happening. Their academia is being challenged to explore different ways to bring information and content to students, and not just bring content, engaging information and student and ways to learn. And so traditional academia is being challenged in that way. But I think when I say flexibility and rigor, flexibility more so for community colleges is that kind of advantage that's there, but rigor and is more so on the side of a four-year university with regard to not just the classes and that sort of thing being more rigorous and challenging, but also rigor relates to opportunities that you get, industries that you want to work in. With rigor comes other things. And so you don't want to just think about it in a silo, as in a single statement. Rigor classes being difficult, not so much that way, but just, yes, rigor in the courses are going to be more challenging, but also to prepare you for the ultimate goal, which is to get the job that you desire and be in the area and position in life that you want to be in. And so those are three things that you really want to consider putting on your comparison chart when you're comparing a community college to a four-year university. Those are some things that I think should be included in the conversation, and that will make your process a little bit easier. I know a lot of students get to the point where they have to make a decision if they're going to go in one direction versus the other. That is the list that you want to put together that will help you to move to the next step in the process, which brings me to the videos that are coming up, which is next week I talk about how to compare getting a trade versus going to a four-year university and getting a degree. And then after that, I talk about getting a trade versus going to a community college. And so, and I talk about the kind of the benefits of that more so in that video that follows next week. And so we kind of shift from just doing a comparison list to then coming to the table and saying, okay, I'm making this decision as it relates to me. I'm going to give you some key tips and strategies to think about and that need to be at the top of your list when you're trying to think about, for me, myself, what is it I need to think about? There are some of the most important things that I think apply to almost across the board to people when thinking about what's important to them. And so, you'll definitely have your own experience, but you won't want to miss that video. You won't want to miss those videos. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into my video, for coming to my channel, for all the support, the love, the encouragement, for letting me into your lives and letting me share with you all of these different things that I hope help you, that it blesses you, that it touches you. As you know, you can access me across different social media platforms. You can share your comments and we can have conversation there. I have a podcast where I also talk about a variety of topics that are kind of more quick and to the point, that air on Saturday mornings. So yeah, and I also have quick tips on TikTok. That is a tongue twister. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when my next video is posted. Bye guys. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Karis K YouTube channel. If you're interested in receiving more content and information about how to navigate your undergraduate experience, your graduate experience, or your experience as a young professional, then go ahead and hit the subscription button and the notification bell. If you're also interested in receiving collegiate news updates or breaking news, then also go ahead and hit the subscription button and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video. Bye guys.